Today we are starting some sort of a mini-series on this channel where I try to become the world's best manager, winning the Champions League at the end of the pathway. But I'm starting off with only one offer from Galway United out of the Irish League, the poorest league in FC25 and one of the worst teams in there, one-star team. The finances are kind of terrible, only 424k in transfer budget, one-star club, only one trophy ever won in their entire history, a big task ahead of us, and it's the only job that is available to us at the start. And so Rebuild Sombrero is taking the reins at Galway United, his first step in his career. Our best player is goalkeeper Clark, 64 rated, as well as centre-back Cunningham. Both of them old already, 38 and 32. 62 rated centre-back, two 62 rated centre-backs who are 25, not too bad at this level. CDM 61 rated, 33 as well. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We can do whatever we want in the transfer market, and I want to bring in younger blood. The formation we are operating in doesn't really please me either. That 5 at the back is a little bit stinky, no width. I like to have width in my game, especially wanting to go with the counter-attacking style of play, as I'm going to show to you here. That's what I've selected as our tactical preset. So I want to have pacey runners, and I'm going to go in for those kinds, either on the transfer market or bringing in new blood from the academy. We've got one talented or quite talented player in Thomas Devlin in our default youth academy. I'm going to leave him here, but we'll promote him when time is right. He's got 65 to 89 potential. Right now I can only hire a 2-star, 3-star scout from Wales. So that is not going to be really helpful, I presume. We might need to sell a few players first. What I've also noticed is that we are starting off in January in the Irish League. So we are half a year early, which can give us a little bit of a boost. We have sold 3 players, that's a start. Conor McCormack, Regan Donlan and Cole Morgan go out for roundabout 800 to 900k. Finally leaving us with a little bit of money, 2 million, to at least hire a scout and maybe go in for one or the other player. I'm gonna go in for a 3-star, should be good enough to at least hire us, give us some kind of a player. That 1-star scout is useless. I'm gonna leave him in because otherwise there will be the glitch again. But the scout will be sent to Northern Europe, to Ireland, to find us some players for, let's say, 3 months. And let's start off with a goalkeeper. I'm also gonna hire one 5-star coach in midfield. Maybe a coach in defense, 4 stars, just to grow those players as much as possible. 4-star coach in defense, in goal, and we've only got a 2-star in attack. That's not enough. What's absolutely needed is a CDM. I'd also bring in probably a new striker, because a 54 rated striker isn't really going to bring us anywhere. And so, a bit controversially maybe, but our first act of business is going to strengthen our defense. Tyler Meiser, centre-back from Borussia Dortmund, coming in on loan as a 60 overall player for 1 season. We couldn't do any more business, unfortunately, at the end of this first window. We'd have to do the rest in the summer transfer window. Honestly, those 2 talents, I'm gonna promote them right away, even though they're only 56, 53 rated, but they've got quite good potentials. We have again found a talented player, Jason Dowgan, 68 to 92 potential, 17 years old, 58 overall. I'm gonna promote him right away to the... So at the halfway point of season 1, we are sitting in 9th place, 19 points, second bottom. Bottom is Dundalk, only 10 points, but we are not out of any... or maybe 5th place, maybe even 3rd place. We could still attack if we are going to have a strong finish to the season, but 9 losses are just too many so far. In July we have sold both Robert Stelvin, actually 3 players, Brian Cunningham, Robert Stelvin and Patrick Hickey, for around 1.3 million, bringing us to about 1 million in our budget right now. I've just gotten hold of a striker in that period here, in the transfer window, who's only 16, he's Irish, and he's 63 rated. Talking about Mason Melia joining us from St. Pat's for 800k. Melia up top, we are looking much more dangerous up top. A 63 rated 16-year-old striker. Two of the youth academy players in Devlin and Dogan, as well as Rooney in goal. We have already put our footprint onto that team. I'm going to promote two of the youth academy players we just got in, Callaghan and Foley. One is 1760 overall, the other one 1759 overall, with decent potential. I'm trying to turn Callaghan into a cam. Duggan is our right midfielder, Foley left midfielder, and we've got Devlin on the bench. One more added to the collection is Philip Fitzsimmons, a 16-year-old 58 rated CDM, probably goes into the starting 11. Again, at the end of the season, we've sold a whole list of players. Daniel Stein, Jimmy Kean, Sean Carrigan, Clark the goalkeeper, and Stephen Walsh all go out for next season to start from scratch. Even Eamon Progan could get promoted to the first team. He's 1757 overall, 62 to 86 potential. After a season, we have a lot of academy players. 3 in midfield, 4, 5. We've got Melia up top, who has grown to a 64 overall. Rooney in goal, not to forget him, of course. A lot of players. Foley has grown to a 61 as well. Season-wise, at the end of the first season, we are in 8th place. We have jumped one position from 9th to 8th, but that was only the build-up, building a team in the first season itself. Mason Melia has scored 10 goals, Foley with 7. He's only coming in January. That is really not bad. Callaghan, who is converting to a cam, has 5 goals and 2 assists. The first season is done, and we can certainly not think of any other jobs better than this one if we finish in 8th place in the Irish League. So let's hope to a better second season. Somehow for the second season, the board have added Atiyat Allah to the left back spot, a free agent if I'm not mistaken, and as you can see here, I haven't done anything so far into the second season. That was a decision solely made by the board. Even for season 2, we have brought in Tyler Meiser from BVB, this time for a couple of seasons, just to help us out that little bit more. However, one big signing is going to be made permanent. A new right back, 17 years of age, from the Belgian Pro League. Coming into the Irish League, it is Sam Renders, who was convinced of our project. 1.7 million. That is maybe a record sum paid in Irish football. We sold the likes of Cillian Toilet, Ed McCarthy, and Greg Cunningham for a combined total of around 1 million. With Renders into that side, Meiser back into it, both 17 years of age. This team is looking much better. Atiyad Allah, of course, a blessing in disguise by the board. He's 10 higher overall than Burns at left back. That is certainly going to help us. Fitzsimmons and Brogan still at CDM. Callaghan at cam, and a great Melia up top. We really do need a better campaign than the first one in our second managerial season with Galway United. A top 5, top 4 finish would be nice progression. Maybe then some other clubs will be interested in our signature as well. Against champions Shamrock Rovers, this was time to find out how good we actually were. Here is Renders, our new signing. Renders already going inside. Looking for Dugan. This is Dugan. It is Atiyat Allah, accorded to us by the board. But here he goes, through that left side. Looking for Melia, who puts us in front against Shamrock Rovers, against the best team in the division. Shortly after, Shamrock Rovers hit the post and then scored from the rebound to make it 1-1 in what it was an absolute, I don't even know how to describe that, slapstick show. We did play some slick football, just like here, finding Dugan, and at the end of it is the 2-1. We were down to 10 men at this point, but still managed to get in front. And shortly after this happened, Melia found in acres of space, putting it in for 3-1 against the reigning champions at home. At the end of the game, we do win 3-1 at home, defeating the reigning champions and showing what we are made of. Believe it or not, at the halfway stage of the season, we are in second place, just 1 point of first place Sligo Rovers, who have got a game in hand though. But the table is very competitive, down to 8th place. Everyone could still intervene in the title race. At the end of the season, it comes down to the T, but we lose out on the league title by a single point to St. Pat's. 60 points to 61 points. In second place, none of the less, great improvement. Really, that guy, he might be interesting further down the line in future clubs. He's 69 rated at the age of 18, 20 goals for him. Callaghan with 12 and 9, as well as Foley with 11 and 6. We have built quite a team here in Ireland. The question now is it time to leave, or will we stay for another season to try and win the Irish League? That might be decided very, very quickly, as we have received offers from the Championship, and there are a few good clubs in there, I can tell you that for free. The likes of Sunderland, we have Birmingham City, we have Ipswich Town, Brentford and Southampton, Luton Town. We've even got Sheffield United, which is a great club. It wouldn't be very appropriate to go to first or second place in the Championship, Brentford or Southampton. Even Ipswich Town wouldn't be very clever, but 23rd in the Championship, Middlesbrough, they have underperformed drastically so far. Only 2 wins, 7 draws and 7 losses in 11 games this season. And that is the job we are applying for. Middlesbrough it is. Let's see what the response is going to be. Unfortunately, Middlesbrough are not interested in giving us the job. That is a blow. But there are new options. Midtjylland, Copenhagen and Brøndby. Arsenal women, I'm not going to go there. But what would be the best there? I think Midtjylland, as they are in 5th place right now. Let's, again, apply for the job. And again, we have been rejected, which is a shame. There will be future managerial openings, I'm sure, but for now we are staying put at Galway United after a successful second season over here. At the start of the 3rd season, I'm going to go in for a centre-back from the free agency list, an Englishman to strengthen that back line. We have lost one centre-back who didn't renew his contract, so we've signed Hakem Orofin to Galway United on a free. I've then also found a ridiculously good CDM for our level, only 18 years old. I want to strengthen this team ahead of my departure. That's why we're going in for Jakob Graf, 18 years old, 72 overall. This team this season should most definitely win the league. Mainly up top, we've got Callaghan 66 rated, Fitzsimmons the captain, along with Graf in midfield. A very, very young side we've built at, of course, Galway United. But a very good one at that. At the halfway point, we are sitting 4 points clear of second place Derry City. 36 points after 18 games. Not too bad. Once again, we have attracted interest from 2 very big clubs, Rangers and Celtic, from the Scottish League. That would be an upgrade to, of course, the Irish League. So I think, I'm not so sure. Celtic have got 34 million. Rangers are like the underdogs. I like underdog stories. Nothing against Celtic, by the way, but I'm gonna go for Rangers. At least apply for the job. But of course, we have once again been rejected. As you might be able to see on the menus, we are playing playoffs to the Conference League, facing Shakhtar Donetsk in a 2-legged affair. First at home, then away from home. A very big occasion to get into Europe. We did score this opener to start off the tie against Shakhtar Donetsk at home. That is exactly how the game ended as well. In a 1-0 home upset win over Shakhtar Donetsk, I may add. There are job openings in EFL League 1, but for now, I'm not gonna take one of those. We do have Mason Melia for a reason, and this is the reason. UEFA Conference League playoff. Look at him go, turning his defender and finishing off in the top corner. Kawhi Elias, though, chipped the keeper just before halftime to give Donetsk the lead again. 2-1 after 42 minutes. A super unlucky goal found its way in the back of the net. I will show you another replay of this one. But it is 3-1, 3-2 to Shakhtar in the build-up. Just look at this. Boom, boom. Twice the Shakhtar player gets the luck and then strikes it into the top corner. Just to put insult to injury, Shakhtar score a fourth goal in the 82nd minute. Too much space for the striker in the middle. And it is 4-1. We are just not quite on the level yet. As that is where we bow out of the Conference League this season. 1-0 win at home, but 4-1 loss away from home. Something fantastic has happened. We have gotten an opportunity, a job opportunity in Portugal at Vitória Guimarães, Vitória SC. An offer that if we accept it, would be a big upgrade on the Irish League. I'm tempted to accept it, but then again, shall we leave the legacy behind? The first or second places from a club where we started from scratch, a club that didn't have any finances and now is a stable club in Ireland. I don't know. We will find out in the next episode. So, guys, this is going to be like a mini-series. 3 or 4 episodes, maybe 5. We'll see how it progresses, but in the next episode, we'll surely find out how we proceed. I have just been offered the Vitória job in Portugal. The question is, shall we accept or shall we stay at Galway United? As right now we are sitting in first place in the Irish League with Galway. 13 wins, 9 draws, 4 losses, 2 points ahead of Shelbourne, 3 ahead of St. Pat's. We've completely turned this club around from being in last place in real life and in second bottom when we arrived. This team has come a long way. However, in my opinion, it is time to accept a new challenge to go to a better league, a league that can compete in Europe. Welcome to Vitória Guimarães. And so here we are, rebuilt Sombrero, all dripped up in the Vitória uniform. Second destination. First thing we are doing as usual is assessing the squad, and as you can see there are a few talents like this Hendel guy at CDM, 78 rated, but otherwise it is quite an average team. A 69 rated keeper isn't all that great. Silva is 33 already, even though he's one of our better players. Mendes the left back might not be too bad either. I went with the counter-attacking style of play at the Irish club, at Galway United. I think we're gonna go with the same style at Vitória. We have got around 11 million as well to spend. However, one thing is for sure, we are not in the transfer window. We are outside in September. On the other hand, what I've just noticed is that we are going to play Europa League football, where we will face Ferencváros first, Midtjylland in October. Where else are we? Tottenham as well, away from home. Başakşehir here from Turkey in November. Let's see who else. Lask in November as well. Celtic in December. And to finish it off, Zaragoza from Spain. Quite the surprising opponent, as well as Sparta Prague from Czechia. What I have done is hired a 4-star scout who is going to go to Portugal for 3 months to, let's say, find us a new goalkeeper, because we are really weak in that spot. I'm gonna stay with the default formation that was used by the former manager, but I've changed a few players. Relvas comes in, Beni, Redes at right midfield, Jong-Woo Young, 77 rated, he's our best player and was on the bench. Frankowski, 78 rated, he's even better rated than Jong-Woo Young, so of course those two are going to come in. Even at striker, I bring in 22-year-old, 6 years younger and an overall higher, Michel at striker. I've also added 4 of my coaches to give us more strength, as much growth as possible. Our first game is away at Estoril. Let's see how this game goes. It's a 2-1 loss. That is not a great start. Even though we took the lead in the first minute, we couldn't hold on. On the other hand, our first Europa League game went a lot better, defeating Ferencváros 3-0 in the first league phase game. In the first part of the season, we've already made a whole heap of transfers happen. A lot of players going out the door. Like Ramirez, Arcanjo goes to Sheffield United. We have Butzke going to France, Felix to Famalicão, Borevkovic to Hoffenheim in Germany, Gaspar, 33 years of age, goes to Vélez Sarsfield, Kai Wagner, 7 million, maybe the biggest chunk of money we got, and Samu goes to Ipswich Town, as well as Charles leaving us, that 32-year-old goalkeeper going to Cardiff. In our first 2 months at the club, we haven't won a lot of games, lost most of them, only won one in October in the league, already lost twice in November, with a big clutch game coming up in Liga Portugal against Famalicão. And subsequently, after 16 games, we are in 14th place on 16 points, which is just not good enough. Relegation form, I shall say. From 9th to 14th, we have taken Vitoria, and we need to have a long, hard look at ourselves in the mirror. As even in the Europa League, we are eyeing into oblivion. 32nd place after 6 games. We've only won one single game. Braga haven't done much better, but at least they've won the second game as well. However, selling all those players has given us around 36 million to play around with. As the first guy coming in is a 20-year-old striker joining us from Leganés, who are right now in the 2nd division of Spanish football. A 20-year-old Jan Diomande joins us from that same Leganés for around 5 million. With Diomande coming in, we've now got a 20-year-old 73-rated striker, but what else we need is a new goalkeeper, as we haven't found anyone in the youth academy, and we've sold our 2 others. We've only got Oliveira at the club right now. I might even need to add a new centre-back, because we've only got one on the bench who will retire at the end of the season. A second player joining us is a 20-year-old again, centre-back this time. Giving us the necessary strength in that position is Vince Osuji, joining us from Club Brugge for 4.9 million. As for the goalkeeping spot, we have found our solution. Going into the market for a 20-year-old exciting prospect, the Luxembourgish goalkeeper Thiago Pereira Cardoso, joining us from Gladbach for 6.4 million. We've now a new keeper, 2073, another centre-back, 2072, and a striker, again 20 years old, 73 overall. 3 20-year-olds will certainly change the fortunes of this club. We did well again, away to Sporting against first place in the league, scoring such a goal to our striker Diomande, who has shown why we've brought him in, as he scored a brace away at the Estadio Alvalade. Not once, but twice did he come in clutch, receiving that pass and passing it past the keeper. Even get a third goal through Frankowski, the right back, who went into the box, scored a goal, make it 3-1 away at Sporting to Vitoria. Maybe that is the turnaround we needed. In the meantime, after that Sporting game, we've drawn too many games, 3 in a row. We didn't lose, but still, in terms of the table, we were in 14th on 27 points, still in kind of a relegation battle, even though Casapia, first relegated side, if there was a second league, was on 19 points. We were 8 points clear of them. We didn't shy away from the challenges, going to Porto and scoring a goal out of the textbook through again our striker, the number 9, Diomande. And in the end, we did back the win away to Porto at first place again. 2 months after beating a first place Sporting, we've done it again. Still couldn't beat teams like Aruca though, who were around us, which meant that we couldn't, of course, climb up the table either. We did fulfill the target of finishing mid-table because we, in the end, got into our own. In the last couple of months, we got 2 more wins, 3 more wins in April, another win, and a draw respectable as well against Benfica, not losing a lot of games, resulting in us finishing in 12th position, just a couple of points behind 9th place Aruca. Certainly next season we'll need to do better, though. We've saved the season quite a bit there via the end. We've also found a couple of talented Portuguese players, one CDM, one CM, from a scouting mission in Portugal. Let's promote both of these. The top performer of the club has been Frankowski with 14 goals, 10 goals for Redes, 10 goals for Woo Young, but the right back being our top scorer is quite surprising. Diomande came in with 20 goals, with 7 goals. Of course, 20 appearances only. 7 goals is not too bad of a return. But then, of course, we know that we'll have to address certain positions. Certainly bring in a better winger than Santos. That is probably the first thing we'll need to do next season. Very, very rookie season. First season in Portugal. Round of 16 of the Cup. And certainly 12 in the league. We were 17th only a few weeks before. Might have been sacked if that was the end. But 12 is something we can build on. Especially with the guys we have brought on, the young players that will develop over the next season. I have decided to sign a fullback at the start of this season, second season for us in Portugal. He can play on both sides. It is Leon Mitchell joining us from the free agency list. After signing Mitchell, we've sold both João Oliveira and João Mendes. Mendes we got 11 million for, of course, with the left back with Mitchell coming in. We don't need another full back. From the Turkish league, we go in and sign a new left winger / left midfielder. As I said, that was our first position we needed to replace. And now we've addressed it by signing Berat Luj from Galatasaray for 9 million. To change the system to accommodate Luj as a winger, he cannot be converted right away to a left midfielder, but that leaves Woo Young in a bit of a precarious position because he cannot be converted to a centre midfielder either. He cannot play around with the positions, and so we might need to replace him. We actually did manage to sell Woo Young for 24 million to Nottingham Forest, leaving us now with about 54 million in our bank to still spend. And so for not so much money, we've brought in a very talented player from the Greek side, the Greek giants, Olympiacos, only 20 years old. I want to bring in players from lower leagues. First from the Turkish league, now from the Greek league, it is Christos Mouzakitis for 23 million joining us, a centre midfielder. This side is looking better already, stacked with a lot of talent now. Mitchell, of course, also in here, 1877 rated. What I do believe we still need is maybe a better right back, maybe a better right wing. I'm not so sure, but what I am sure of is we need another Portuguese. And so for our last deal of the window of this season probably as well, we are going in for a Portuguese right back, replacing Frankowski, even though that one was our best scorer last season. He's already 32. And so we bring in 26-year-old Pedro Malheiro. His contract was expiring. I love to see that. 20 million he only cost us from Trabzonspor in Turkey. And so we could let go of Prejmislav Frankowski for 13 million. He has been snapped up by Benfica of all clubs. Just to sort out squad depth, I'm gonna go in for a new centre-back because we haven't got anyone on the bench at the club. That's why we signed Roldão Tavares, a Portuguese centre-back from Valencia for 10 million. He's only 17 years old. But we can already see that this season we are completely different gravy. Sitting in first place with 13 points. Granted, only 5 games played, but 4 wins and 1 draw. 0 losses so far. And a game with Sporting looming at the Alvalade. Sporting took a lead early doors from Konrad Harda in the 7th minute. Even double tallied in the 40th minute. An attack through the left side, and again Konrad Harda unmarked in the middle, putting it in for 2. Not going to go without a fight though, as our number 7, Redes, the right winger, scored a consolation, a lifeline after that crazy pass by striker Diomande. I don't know how he saw that pass. Absolutely crazy. An easy goal for Harda, the goalkeeper out of his net. No chance for Pereira in our goal. As I said, we wouldn't go down without a fight as Diomande bagged this goal. Great pass Great turn by Diomande, and he gets us another goal back. We are really a different team this season. Diomande went on to score another goal to get us the way back into this game. 75th minute. Diomande on the counter again. Nobody can keep up to him, can catch up to him. And a big strike in the end. In the end, though, Harder would get yet another goal, his 4th goal of the night. Crazy stuff, as we made a mistake at the back. Harder, 4 goals in one game. We'd go on and lose the game 4-3 away at Sporting, but we've given ourselves a good account, a good go. Crazily enough, even though we lost to Sporting, we were ahead of them in the table at the halfway point of the season, on same points than first place Benfica, only beaten by goal difference. That is what you call a phenomenal first part of the season. A few games later and we are on 40 points, 2 points behind Benfica. Both of us have got 1 loss, but now it is going to be the big showdown. We are facing Benfica at home. Maybe a title decider already. We did find the lead. We did find the lead in the 34th minute through our striker Diomande. Nice play through the left side. Our winger Luge with the ball into Diomande, who scrambles it in to the back of the net. 1-0, 35 minutes played. A brilliant second goal then in the 45th minute, just on the brink of half-time, by our Greek midfielder Mouzakitis. He took the ball, you can't see it from here, took the ball from the middle of the field, halfway down, all the way Mouzakitis, with the finish as well. A perfect goal to take a 2-0 lead just before half-time. Benfica did get a goal back in the 78th minute through Pavlidis. He turned the defender. Had an easy finish there. No, not quite easy, but a good finish, nonetheless. In the end, we do secure a famous win over Benfica at our home turf. 2-1. 3 points go to Vitória. We faced Benfica again in the Cup semi-finals, beating them both times at home and away to reach the Portuguese Cup final against Sporting, our title rivals in the league as well. A couple of draws in the month of March meant that we had to go into the game with Sporting as second in the table. 11 draws after 26 games. Just a bit too many. Only 1 loss, but a duel with Sporting at home coming up. Diomande put us into the lead after just 12 minutes. A radiant counter-attack down the right side, and he was the one passed to in the middle. Completed a brilliant move out of the head of rebuild Sombrero. Just look at this, going down the right side. Pass inside to Diomande, who finishes it off. 4 minutes later we went again and scored again through Berat Luge, our left winger from Turkey. He went all the way, recovered the ball in midfield, went down the middle and scored ahead of the goalkeeper in the one-on-one situation, past number 12 of Sporting. After 40 minutes we already nearly made the game dead. We killed the game off. Redes gets a goal, our number 7, down the right side, gets played in, goes all by himself. A good, powerful shot into the top corner to make it 3-0 already after 40 minutes. We destroy Sporting in this one. 4-0, 62 minutes. Diomande yet again with another goal. Played in by Reg. This time Diomande gets his second goal, his brace. We are running rampant over our title rival Sporting. Sporting managed to get a goal back through Edwards, but it was all too late for them. A good goal, but nothing really other than a consolation goal. At the end of the day, we got a deserving 4-1 victory. A clear statement in the title race. Somehow ahead of the final match day, Benfica leapfrogged us because again, we had 1 too many draws. And Benfica 3 points clear ahead of the final day. A game away to Boa Vista. Let's see if we can at least get the win here. It's only a 2-2 draw, which means we are already mathematically it's only possible to be second. We only had one loss all season long, but those 14 draws have just absolutely destroyed us. We have of course though made the cup final against Sporting, a chance at our first trophy in our managerial career. We've reached second place now with the Irish team, with Galway, as well as Vitória in the Portuguese league. But never have we won a trophy so far. The game would end goalless after 90 minutes. Both teams had their chances. We came close a couple of times through our striker, but it would be going into extra time. A super save in extra time by Thiago Pereira Cardoso meant we would still be in it in the 100 minutes. Again, another super save by Pereira in the second half of extra time. Still 0-0. And so it had to be decided on penalty. Sporting were the way better team in extra time, but they couldn't do it. Starting off with Travassos against Pereira Cardoso, he already saves one. That is a start and a half. Redes is taking our first penalty and scores. Handel would be our next scorer after Sporting converted theirs. He converted as well. Next up, our super striker Diomande. He didn't score in the 120 minutes, but here he does score. Nel scored in the 120 minutes and scores here again. 3-3, but we have the advantage. Pedro Malheiro, who we signed from Trabzonspor, he scores his penalty. And now Sporting under pressure, as if Pereira Cardoso, who saved us in the 120, saves again. He saves again and we win this tie. Pereira Cardoso is the hero, the goalkeeper. He saved us so many times during the game. And here again with 2 penalty saves. He's done it. Vitória, the champions of the Portuguese Cup. A 10-point nil for Pereira Cardoso, who has had 12 shots against, 9 on target and made 9 saves, plus 2 penalty saves in the shootout. Incredible. At the end of the season, Redes was our top scorer. Diomande caught up very nicely, 19 goals, 10 for Luj, the Turkish man, and 7 and 14 assists for Christos Mouzakitis, who is up to an 82 overall. In our 4th season as a manager, 2nd season at Vitória, we have just about evaded the league title by 3 points, but we have won our first trophy as a manager. The Portuguese Cup, not a bad start if you ask me. Now in our 3rd season with, of course, Vitória, we will be in the Champions League. I don't even know if we are automatically in there. Here it says reach the group stage, which lets me think that we might have to play a playoff game or something like that. We have got around 30 million to go in for new players. Not that much money, but again, in the Portuguese league, you don't get that much money. I think 29 million is great for Portugal. I might want to strengthen the CDM spot. Benny is there, but he doesn't really excite me all that much. So yeah, that is a position. Otherwise, I'm not really sure. We've got a good back line, a good goalkeeper. Handel is great, Mouzakitis is great, and the front three is delivering as well. And so, in our 3rd year in charge, we have sold Benny, the CDM, for 12 million to PSV, and Nuno Santos to Braga. That might be a rival of Vitória, but still, he's 29 now, 73 rated. We didn't really need him anymore. He's only 26, 81 rated. Matthias Galarza joining us from FC Augsburg, who have been relegated to the 2nd division of Germany in this save. Galarza, with his 81 rating, is giving us the necessary quality at CDM. Along with Handel, Mouzakitis completes that midfield. A really nice looking midfield. The backline is good. 2 great fullbacks. 2 also quite good centre backs. Pereira Cardoso in goal has been the man of the season for me last year. Luis Diomande, both 21, and Redes up top. Regis 28. But yeah, he had phenomenal numbers last season. We don't have to play any playoffs as it seems this season. We'll face the Champions League opponents are already clear. We'll face Molde and Slavia Prague in September, which is more than a manageable start. Marseille and Sociedad in October. We've got Dortmund in November, then Ghent in December, and Celtic and Barcelona. I would say quite a favourable draw, apart from Barcelona and maybe Dortmund. A lot of manageable teams like Slavia, like Molde. Even Marseille and Sociedad to an extent, even though they are the favorites. And Ghent, of course. A very exciting group phase. If you want to know how this will turn out, how we will fare in the Champions League, then please tune in to the next one. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will see you in a couple of days again. Today we will find out if Vitória can mount the title challenge and can win its first ever Liga Portugal title under the guidance of rebuild Sombrero in our 5th managerial season. Of course, first off we started at Galway United, where we got them up the league table to 2nd place, even to 1st place, then left for Vitória, got offered the job. We had a terrible first season, finished in mid-table, but then in the 2nd season we really delivered with silverware in the Portuguese Cup and, as I said, a title challenge where we fell short for about 3 points to Benfica. We will also be in the Champions League for the first time ever as a manager. That is going to be a competition we need to cherish and grow into. We have a wonderful squad here, starting with Pereira Cardoso in net, who saved us in penalty shootout last season against Sporting. Michel at left back, a great 19-year-old. Galarza, we just bought him this season. He's 26, maybe the missing piece to the puzzle, along with Captain Handel. Musakitis, a wonderful talent at CM, and Diomande up top, 21-79, with Redes, best goal scorer last season, and Lush on the left side. We start off our Champions League campaign against Slavia Prague at home. Can we have a good start? No, it's actually a loss. We lose 2-1, Mikes and Kittil with the goals. Diomande gave us one back, but in the end we lose our opening game to Slavia. That's not a great start. Still we are though bossing Sporting as in the league encounter. Once again, 2nd against 1st. They are 1st in the league, but we take the lead in the direct encounter through Diomande. A phenomenal assist to make it 2-0 to Vitória. Once again Diomande. But just have a look at how this assist was created, this goal was created. This great pass into Diomande's feet. A very, very strong, precise pass and a great finish. After this challenge by Osuji, we have conceded a penalty in the 41st minute. Nel is going to take it and scores, gives Sporting one back. It was quite simply the Diomande show as he scored yet another goal. Yet another brilliant finish. Run past the goal, past the defense, and a shot past the keeper. Lush, our Turkish left winger, even found a 4th goal about 10 minutes before the end of the 90 minutes into the bottom corner. 4-1, absolutely demolishing Sporting yet again. After that crushing win, we were back in 1st on 15 points. Same than Sporting, but of course better goal difference and better head-to-heads. For now though, what is more important though for now is the Champions League, as we are facing Molde in our 2nd outing. Once again at home. Can we get our first win? No, it's a draw though this time. Breivik in the 89th minute denied us a win, which meant that the 3rd game against Marseille would already become very important. Once again at home, quite surprising, but we have to get something here. We did though get grilled by Marseille by Anthony the GOAT in the 35th minute. After this play went into the back of our net, no chance for Pereira Cardoso against the GOAT. Notando, as in the 71st minute, our top striker got an equalizer against the French giants of Marseille. What a goal it was on the counter yet again. Our strongest actual gameplay is on the counter. Once again the GOAT Anthony scores a goal, celebrates with aura, and all of Marseille's players are absolutely livid on this pitch. Look at the goal. Bit of a missed clearance by ourselves, and then the ball falls to Anthony, who of course never misses. That is unfortunately how it ended. We fought well, but in the end we fall short. We picked up a point in our next encounter in the Champions League away to Real Sociedad. We were actually ahead for about 50 minutes, sitting in 31st in the Champions League table after 4 games. Our next trip wouldn't be any easier, away to Dortmund. Against all expectations, we actually took the lead within 20 minutes. Diomande was played in and he didn't make no mistake. Passing the ball past Kobel in Dortmund's net. In the 31st minute, Dortmund got a penalty though, after our defender tripped Wind up in the penalty box. Osuji with the foul was Troikens up against Pereira Cardoso, converting to make it 1-1. A wonder goal from our Turkish left winger Lush, with a bit of luck in the end, but a solo run out of the highest order. You cannot see all of it, but look at this, just passing, going past the defenders, and then passing it into the back of the net. Actually, was it deflected? No, it wasn't. So it's a clean goal by Lush. Dortmund got back in a bit of a weird fashion. Striker Bayer makes it 2-2. A mistake at the back before the goal. Pereira couldn't do anything. 2-2. We got the third goal. Dortmund got reduced to 10 men, but Diomande, in his second rebound on this shot, gets his goal. Just have a look at this. First the shot held by the keeper, another shot held by the keeper, and then finally Diomande can stab it home. If we want to have any chance of progressing in the Champions League, we need to win this game. However, Dortmund are on the charge, but we get it away. Still, a lot of difficulties. It is only 1 minute of any time. Dortmund with another chance and they score. That will be our going out of this Champions League. Probably Wind with a goal in the 90th minute. Dortmund down to 10 men. But they have done it. The ref immediately blows his whistle. KAA Gent is our next opponent. They are 36th in the league phase. We need a win here, away in Belgium, and we do get it. Finally, Diomande and Maleiro, our bringer of luck and everything we needed here, through Pedro Maleiro in the 84th minute. Our first 3 points of the Champions League phase. At the halfway point of the season, we are once again sitting in second place, 1 point behind Sporting, who've only lost 1 game. We have lost a couple of silly points, really, this season to lower ranked teams. As the next one with Celtic at Celtic Park will be an absolute clutch match. They are 35th, and we get the win. Back-to-back wins in the league phase. Now puts us in a great position, Mitchell and Redes with the goals, to go through to the playoffs. Even if we were to lose our final game against Barcelona, who are in first place in the league phase, we still are in with a shot of finishing in the top 24. Arsenal in 23rd, Spurs in 20th. We are in 17th right now. We started off by shocking Barcelona. In the second minute, Diomande ran through and put us into the lead. However, it wouldn't last long until Barcelona were to respond through Benjamin Šeško in the 7th minute with this strike past Pereira. Of course, we had to concede a penalty. A foul on Ben Doak in the penalty box by Tavares. And we would be faced with Šeško again, up against Pereira Cardoso. He slots it home, 2-1 to Barcelona. Go on and score another one through Šeško in the 32nd minute. Frimpong with a cross and Šeško with an absolutely lethal finish through Pereira in our net. Past him, it is 3-1. The game did end in a 4-1 thumping by Barcelona. 4 goals by Šeško. A very bad ending. Still though, by the skin of our teeth, we have survived and go to the playoff round, which is a big success for Vitoria, let's be honest. In the playoff round, we were paired up with Marseille, first at home at the Stadio Municipal. Just like in the group stages, the goat Anthony snapped again. In the 27th minute, he brought Marseille in front. Funnily enough, just before halftime, for this kind of a foul, Anthony saw a red card. That is crazy. Anthony the goat send off. It was a true ball, to be fair. Could have been dangerous. We took advantage of this situation. Redes with The equalizer, played in nicely by our striker, and finishes it off in style. Marseille with a great goal responded. It didn't take them long. What a cross and what a header. I would never get these headers on target. We did equalize again though through Diomande. We don't give up here. 11 against 10. Diomande gets played in by the Greek midfielder, and puts it in. And even a third goal. Finally we go in front. Redes once more. The right winger. Stadium is erupting because of that finish. Double by Redes. The Croatian, I wanted to say Paraguayan for some reason. Maybe, just maybe in added on time, Diomande puts the tie to bed. Going to Marseille in comfortable fashion, 4-2. Again, Diomande at the end of it. He was absolutely naked. Still managed to put the ball into the back of the net. Again, nicely played in by Luge this time. And a brilliant, classy finish. With another win away to Marseille, Michel the only goal scorer. We go through 5-2 on aggregate. Quite comfortable to the round of 16. Facing AC Milan in the first leg at home. Let's see how this goes. It's a 1-1 draw. A lot to play for in the second leg in Milan. Diomande gives us the equalizer. Everything to play for in the second leg in San Siro. Early on we would hit the crossbar after just 3 minutes. And even a second chance of the rebound, but saved by Maignan. Only a few minutes later though we do a much better job. Once again Redes, after Diomande stole the ball from Araujo in Milan's defense. Redes was played in, scoring the first goal of the game. In the 33rd minute, Jimenez would give Milan a lifeline. One back, chipping Pereira, who stormed out of net. No chance to keep it out. Finally, just after half-time, Yassin Adli played in. Jimenez was on the edge of offside, but wasn't called offside, and it is 2-1 to Milan. And before you know it, Jimenez scores his hat-trick, putting Milan 2 up on aggregate, 2 up on the night, 3-1. It is a hat-trick by Jimenez. We are falling apart, slowly but surely. Then things turned from bad to worse. After getting a man sent off, after the goal actually, the man who fouled Jimenez got sent off. And now we can see the penalty. Jimenez could make it 4 goals in one game, but Pereira with a great save, at least keeping us at 2. Even though he missed the pen, he still scored his 4th goal. Jimenez in added on time with the dagger. That meant we were out 5-2 on aggregate. We made a valiant run to the round of 16. But in the end it wasn't enough to overcome Santiago Jimenez and AC Milan. However, things are coming thick and fast in the Portuguese league, where we are now down 5 points to Benfica and 2 points behind Sporting, who we are facing next. Again, Redes gave us the lead, even away to Sporting after a great one by Mitchell down the left side. Passed it inside and gave it into Reg, who turned his man, scored into the bottom corner. Sporting didn't give up though as quickly as Rafael Nel got the goal back. I nearly forgot how to speak English here. It absolutely didn't take long though for us to respond. Just 3 minutes later, and Diomande scored yet another goal for Vitoria as he burst through the defender who tried to stop him there, but he just was concentrated on finding that bottom corner. A hat-trick scored by Diomande in the 81st minute, absolutely running riot with the Sporting defense on this occasion, turning everyone there is to turn, and then finding the goal yet again, leading to us absolutely dismantling Sporting and getting closer to Benfica yet again. Even 4th place Porto was beaten through goals by Berat Luge and Diomande. Another big victory. Just before a showdown with Benfica, we are 2 points off them. Same games played. If we are going to beat them, then we will take first place. It didn't take us long to find a lead against Benfica. Once again, Our talisman on the wing with the lead. Valero into the middle to the Croatian right winger. Giving us the lead, Rodney Redes in the 8th minute. It didn't take Benfica long to answer either, as a mistake at the back was punished by Pavlidis, who put it past Pereira. Diomande once again found the net in the 37th minute. A rapid fire counter-attack, finished off by our striker. In the end, we do get the win against Benfica 2-1. A very important 3 points in the title race. Ahead of the final match day against Braga at home, we are 2 points clear of Benfica, 3 points clear of Sporting, formally in the driver's seat. After just 4 minutes, we take the lead through Redes. That is a big start. After a deflected pass by a Braga player, found its way somehow to Redes, who puts us right into the lead at the start of the game. Braga did find an equalizer just before half-time though. El Wazazi finds his way past Pereira. Though just after half-time, Diomande once again came in clutch to give us the lead again. Handel, great passing play on show here, as our number 7 once again plays it into Diomande, who finishes it off. And that is it. Even though we had a red card in the last 10 minutes, Vitória are the champions of Portugal. Nobody can really believe it, but here it is. The celebrations are real. First championship for Vitória. I don't know if they've ever won one, I don't think so. But here it is. Campeões, Vitória Guimarães. Our first big league title onto our CV. The Portuguese league title with the outsiders, the underdogs, that are Vitória. We even make it a domestic double, defeating Benfica through a goal by Handel and another one by Berat Luz, against one by Köksü in the Portuguese Cup final. Back-to-back Portuguese Cup trophies. As well, 3 trophies in Portugal. Not too bad. At the end of a fantastic season, Diomande has scored 51 goals in 54 appearances. That's unreal. Luz with 26 as well. And even 17 for Rodney Redes. We have built a great team here at Vitória, but probably not good enough to win the Champions League. That's at least what I think for now. So it might be time to move clubs now that we've got and gained a much bigger reputation on the world scale, winning 3 trophies in Portugal with an underdog like Vitória. So at the start of this season and other season with Vitória, at least we are starting with them. We are bringing in a new centre-back, an exciting prospect. Tavares' growth slowed down, and so we've brought in Jordi Mocchio for 14.5 million from Newcastle United. We even got in Leonardo Cherry from Juventus, a sporadic squad role player, backup striker. There are a couple of interesting job offers right now from the Netherlands coming in. PSV as well as Feyenoord. I don't think that would be a great upgrade, as well as Benfica actually, from the same Portuguese league. Also a women's job that I'm certainly not going to take, of course. But yes, PSV, Feyenoord, I'm gonna wait for a little bit longer. Whilst all those talks are going on, the job offers flowing in, we have actually done a good job after 2 games in the league phase. We are in 8th place, and all the teams above us have played their second game. So if we win the next game, we will be top of the Champions League phase. However, that game will be played at the Allianz Arena in Germany against Bayern Munich. In the 68th minute, we did catch Bayern Munich out on the counter-attack. The room was completely open behind the defense. You cannot see that on this replay, but maybe on the next one. Bayern were all out attacking. As you can see, no one was back, and Diomande didn't say no to that opportunity. And again, just 5 minutes later, Diomande stole the ball off Saliba, who was sleeping as it seemed, and made it 2-0 to the goods for Vitória Guimarães. What a sensational display. As you can see here, Bayern lost the ball. I think it was Saliba, yes, who lost it. and then no problem with the finish for Diomande. That was the end of all of that. 2-0 away win at Bayern Munich. The home fans are very upset. Bayern hadn't managed to win a single game, and they wouldn't win this one either. As we are sitting in first place in the Champions League phase, 9 points, dream start, 5 goals scored, 0 conceded. We did lose our first league phase game away to Valencia shortly after though, and what I realized is that this team just couldn't quite cut it at that level. But then again, we were still set in 4th place in that league phase, and even in Liga Portugal, things weren't that bad. In 3rd position, 4 points behind an unbeaten Benfica. However, then came a very interesting offer, as Atletico Madrid, sitting in 15th in La Liga, offered me a job to become their new manager. 91 million budget. I had to apply for this one. And indeed, Atletico Madrid have offered me their vacant manager role after sacking their manager for only being in 15th position. Rebuild Sombrero could become the next Atletico manager. The question is, shall we accept the offer and leave our legacy behind at Vitoria? Or should we try to win the Champions League with Vitoria itself, which is going to be very difficult? I am tempted, but what do you guys think? What shall I do next? We are right now in our 4th season as Vitoria boss, having won the Liga Portugal in sensational fashion last season, as well as the Portuguese Cup the season before, taking over when the club were down in 9th. In the first season, we didn't do that well actually, but then climbed up the table, and now we are a regular concurrent, a regular competitor at the top of the table. Right now, 6 points off an unbeaten Benfica in the league. We've even done very well at the start of the Champions League phase. After 4 games, we've only lost once and are on 9 points in 6th position within the top 8, the automatic qualifiers. Having won 3 trophies at Vitoria has led to some interest of different clubs. As you can see, no, your eyes are not deceiving you. Atletico Madrid have offered me the job to become their next permanent manager. From what we can see here, they are also in the Champions League, but all the way down in 27th on 4 points after 4 games. That's definitely not where Atletico Madrid should be. And so I have decided to accept the offer to become the new Atletico Madrid manager. Rebuild Sombrero off to Spain. Here he is, walking majestically into his new office. Rebuild Sombrero at the helm of Atletico Madrid. And so yes, my eyes were not deceiving me either, as Atletico Madrid right now are sitting in a relegation battle in La Liga, in 16th place. No questions asked about why they sacked their manager. As the team, in fact, is looking very good. We've got Gallagher and Bergwall in midfield, Riquelme right midfielder, Peters up top with a 19-year-old 84 rated striker, Schick besides him, maybe a little bit old, Benzebaini shall get replaced. Let's see the other options. We've got Rice and Simic, who are both higher rated, so I'm gonna put Rice in there. Luis Kelly on the left back. This team is looking good. Ederson in net with Samba as the backup goalkeeper, so this team should actually do much better. Again, my favorite formation so far, the counter-attacking style of play. Think that suits Atletico well. This team has even got Heung-min Son and another Korean, Yoon Soo-hong, in their squad. Son is now 37, 71 rated. I had already switched up the tactic to get in the best players in this team. We've got players like Mbuemo, Zawa, who are all on the bench. Peters is the striker. Bergwall and Gallagher in midfield with Hassan, who is showing great potential at CDM. Rice, Mosquera, Lima and Luis Kelly as a back four, with an old Ederson in net. So let's see how our first game is going to go. Away to Deportivo. It's actually a win. That is the new manager Bounds coming in clutch. Hassan and Peters with the goals. Even our first Champions League outing went quite well. Away to Leverkusen, 2-2, Mosquera and Peters with the goals. A Peters brace has even given us the first win in the Champions League phase. Away to Young Boys. And before you know it, we'd already sold the whole list of players. Leading the pack was Reece James, who who left for Barcelona for 50 million. Patrick Schick went to Juventus, 33 years of age. Javi Serrano to Galatasaray. Prisamba to Milano, he's already 35. Rodrigo Riquelme to Arsenal. And Costis to Girona. A massive clear out, very strict. The first 6 weeks in charge or so has already seen us climb up the table massively into 7th place on 26 points, 7 wins, 5 draws, and 6 losses. Real Madrid, so far with 17 wins out of 18 games, is crazy. 244 million in our budget to go in for new players. That is the effect of Atletico Madrid. And so our first signing as the Atletico Gaffer is bringing in a Spanish player from Serie A, from the Italian leagues. From Lazio to be precise, it is Ibai Rey joining us for 85 million, a CDM, 23 years of age. We may have done something stupid right now, but effectively I am proud of the decision, because we have shipped out Ederson to Vitoria, our former club, and therefore gotten our goalkeeper. It is Thiago Pereira Cardoso joining us for 30 million plus Ederson in a swap deal. Still, we are going to get a C rating out of this. That is all for our first transfer window here at Atletico Madrid. Rey is certainly strengthening the midfield. Pereira is a man for present and future in goal. I've switched things around, even in terms of tactics, of course. Let's see if that will have any impact on our league finish at the end of the season. I just forgot that players have got a release clause in Spain, most of them, and so Giancarlo Simic has been snapped up by Juventus for about 33 million. I can't really believe it. Meaning, though, our budget is back up to 155 million, so we might be able to sign a new player, a new centre-back. And so, for an absolute steal, we've signed one of the world's best defenders at this point, 24 years of age, from Newcastle United. He's about 90 overall. Coming in is Jamie Campos from Newcastle for 111 million, a crazy transfer. Just look at its team now with Campos in there. He's a Colombian, if I'm not mistaken, or even from Ecuador. I'm actually not 100% sure. He is from Ecuador, to be honest. Yes, I've never seen such a good Ecuadorian player at all times. But this is the man who completes this squad, our highest rated player right away. And this team must be competitive in every single competition. The bench now with Rice on there, who is only 23. We've got Hassan, who is only 21. We are now under pressure in the Champions League as we are in 24th and have to get something out of PSV. A brilliant counter goal to give us the first goal away to PSV in a snowy Eindhoven, prepared by our midfielders and ended by Brian Mbeumo. Now Thiago Pereira made a whole heap of saves. He couldn't save the rebound from Wurmbrand as PSV got an equalizer. And PSV ran rampant in the following minutes as they scored yet another goal to make it 2-1. Pereira saved again the first one but couldn't save the rebound. 2-1 to PSV. Even in the second half, PSV got the better of us as they ended a great play. Our number 2 was sleeping over there. And no chance for Pereira in net. Vitas gave us the goal back in the 78th minute after numerous saves by our keeper Thiago Pereira. He did what he does best, scoring yet another goal. However, in the 90th minute, PSV would end us 4-2 after yet another mistake at the back, which would mean we go out of the Champions League in the league phase. We only didn't make it out by goal difference in the end. Dortmund in 24th go through 8.0 goal difference, but we had a -5. If only we'd made 1 point away to PSV, we would have gone through. I guess that is a good opportunity now to climb up the table in La Liga, where once again we are lagging behind. We did go out of the Copa de España to Levante in the quarterfinals. A mediocre month of February saw us get 2 wins and 2 losses in the league. Still, we couldn't climb up with now Real Madrid looming first in the table. They've only lost 2 games all season long. It's the Madrid derby at the Metropolitano. Clever play by Rodrigo, and Vinicius Jr. gave Real Madrid the lead after just 11 minutes at the Metropolitano. Just look at this, Pereira storming out, Rodrigo calm and collected. Madrid doubled their lead, yet another good play, another defensive weakness shown, exposed, Atletico Madrid. And so our first Madrid derby would end in defeat, 2-0 to Real Madrid. Final part of the season sees us climb into third position, still 13 points of Athletic Club, who are the league leaders, ahead of Real Madrid. But look at the points difference with one game to go. 1 point ahead of Real Betis and Barcelona in sixth. For the final game we are facing Sevilla away from home, where we absolutely need to get the win to qualify for Champions League football. Final strike by Conor Gallagher gave us the lead in the 31st minute after Sevilla were the team in control of this game. Just look at this shot, the goalkeeper was unfazed in net. No chance for him, so precise by Conor Gallagher. Sevilla did get an equaliser though, out of nothing in the 56th minute. They weren't good after the first goal by ourselves, but then somehow got a goal back. The all-important goal came though by Peters in the 75th minute. A bit of a scramble inside the box. Gallagher first with a great assist found Peters, who somehow found the back of the net through the arms of Rajkovic in goal of Sevilla. Peters got injured via the end of the game, which didn't seem to be good. But yeah, here, have a look at the injury. I mean, that could be out for 6 months, or for all I know. Martin came in. We were already the 97th minute. For some reason, the referee gave 7 minutes of added time. But oh well, we did win in the end. 2-1, by the way, and secured third place. A player of the season cutscene coming in here, as Luis Figo is giving somebody in Kylian Peters the player of the season award. I'm really excited to see what he did in terms of stats this season. Must have been great. As indeed we finish in third place, was important as well to win. Otherwise we would have been all the way down in sixth place. All the teams around us won. We are in the end 8 points off Real Madrid, 13 of league winners Athletic Club. Next season we can attack again. Peters with 33 goals. He absolutely carried this Atletico Madrid team. That's why I'm a little bit worried about his injury. At least he won't be out for 6 months. 2 months is bad, but at least he will be back at the start of the next season. Securing a third place finish, quarterfinals of the Cup, 25th in the Champions League is not great, but third place from where we started in like 15th, 16th is a huge accomplishment. So at the start of this season, the new season with Atletico, we have signed a new right midfielder / right winger, Egyptian, from the free agency list, only 17 years of age. Might well be the Mohamed Salah region in Tamer Hassan joining us at Atletico for €0. We did get a signing over the line, another one at right back. I didn't really trust Pedro Lima, so I gone in for a 3 overall higher rated. Same age from Inter coming in, it is Martin Fernandes for 40 million plus Lima. After signing Tamer Hassan, we could sell Brian Mbuemo to Manchester United for 105 million. Big money. We have, of course, improved the right back spot. Fernandes. Hassan comes in at the right wing. He's only 17. Zawa still at left wing. I couldn't really improve him. I'm going to give him another shot. He's only 24. The midfield is looking absolutely fabulous, with Captain Gallagher with 30 now. Mosquera and Campos, phenomenal partnership at the back, as well as Pereira Cardoso in net. The new season has delivered. The new guys have delivered, as we are sitting top of the table after 11 games on 27 points, 0 losses so far, only 9 goals conceded. Then again, not in the most advantageous position in the Champions League after 3 games only on 2 points. And our next 3 games are going to be massive, facing Barcelona, Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and Real Madrid. Against Barcelona in the 92nd minute, we got a late winner in a game that was destined to end in a 0-0 draw. We have done it very late on. That could be decisive in the title race. What a strike by Leo Sauer. The very final strike of the ball in this game as Atletico Madrid defeat Barcelona in this one. Next up we would face Bayern Munich in Germany. We took the lead in 16 minutes through our Belgian superstar Peters, our number 10. On a counter-attack once again, Leo Sauer involved, passing it into Peters, who doesn't miss from there. However, Bayern did answer just a few minutes later. Diomande, our former striker at Vitoria, has made the move to Bayern, passed it into Musiala, and he gives Bayern the lead. Again, we did get a late goal against 10-men Bayern. Somebody was sent off, but Gallagher played in Peters here in this occasion to give us yet again the lead. However, Bayern were not done there as Musiala, a solo run by him, a solo effort by the German, put Bayern back on level terms. A 2-2 tie at Bayern Munich. In the game against Real Madrid, Vinicius Jr. gave Los Blancos an early lead in the 16th minute. He could go all by himself here, no one really stopped him, and he made it 1-0. However, just shortly after, we would find an equalizer. Gallagher played in smartly, and he wouldn't miss that opportunity, that one-on-one with the keeper. This game turned out to be a goal fest as Real Madrid answered right away again through Camavinga, who made it 2-1. It continued as Sauer found striker Peters to make it 2-2 just before the break. Just look at these celebrations. Look at the goal as well. Greatly played in Peters, who doesn't really flink here. He doesn't miss an opportunity. In some sort of very weird fashion, we took the lead in the 55th minute. Going down the left side through Sauer, and Real Madrid failed to clear the ball as Peters stuck in his foot and got the ball over the line. Real Madrid did come back into the game through striker Peltier in the 62nd minute. Again, we couldn't do anything about the speed of the right winger, and Peltier snuck it into the back of the net. A dramatic finale saw us take the lead again. A hat-trick for Peters in the Santiago Bernabeu, in the local derby. What a game by our talisman up top. Just look at his speed here, again going past everyone and striking it with confidence. That goal at the end proved to be good enough to get the 3 points away from the Bernabeu. Massive, famous points. We had a couple of draws in our locker in both La Liga and the Champions League. 3 draws in a row, in fact, before getting back to winning ways. Once in La Liga and also finally for the first time in the Champions League. As fate would have it, we will have to face Vitoria, our former club, in one of the Champions League games. We did bag a massive win away from home in the Cup to Barcelona, winning that game by 4 goals to 2 and progressing to the next round. We have won our first trophy as Atletico Madrid boss, even though it's a smaller one, but the Supercopa goes to Atletico, defeating Athletic Club, coming from behind through Hassan and Peters. Next up is the big game with Vitoria in the Champions League. They are sitting in 25th, we are in 22nd. Let's go. Having a look at their lineup, they've of course sold Diomande, the striker. Now Cherry plays there, who we brought in as a backup striker. Musakiti is still in there, Galarza, Hendel, Leon Mitchell up to a 90 overall, Osuchi up to an 86, even Pedro Maleiro up to an 85, and of course Ederson, who we have traded for our keeper Pereira. Peters brought us in front after about 29 minutes. Away at our former club, our top class striker is now up to an 89 if I'm not mistaken, running through the defense. And he of course makes no mistake, no one catches up. Just after the break, Vitoria got an equalizer through our former star, the right winger Redes, the Croatian, who burst it through here, got a brilliantly played in and put it past our keeper. the former Vitoria keeper Pereira. Later on in the 81st minute, we got a goal once again through Peters, who doesn't stop scoring as it seems. Even in the Champions League, that might be a very important winner. Sliding past defenders, getting another goal. That would be the end of that, getting an important victory at our former home. Just one game before the end of the league phase, we have moved up to 14th now. Quite secure in the top 24, although only 2 points ahead of Benfica. We got the job done in our final game, defeating PSV, another goal for Peters and one for Gallagher. Sadly, Victoria have been knocked out on 7 points after 8 games in 27th. In the playoff round, we faced 20 from the Netherlands, and it's a 1-1 draw in the first leg. Univar and Zawa with the goals. In the all-decisive second leg, we went at Metropolitano and got a 3-1 win, braced by Zawa, who comes in clutch more and more, as well as Hassan scoring another goal. We would face Juventus and our former player Melia in the round of 16, draw that game 2-2 at the Metropolitano. Juventus did take the lead in the 29th minute. A bit of a shambles defensively. Luis Kelly and Pereira couldn't do anything about it. Luis Kelly didn't clear the ball correctly, and that allowed Juventus to score. It looked like it was all going to be over in the 42nd minute as Melia, former player Melia, it had to be him of course, to score the second goal. Juve even got a third in the 55th minute, a scramble in the box, we couldn't get it away. Peters of all people tried to get the ball away from a player, but number 7 of Juventus put it into the back of the net to make it 3-0. Scoring 2 more goals through Gallagher, but in the end, it was no humiliation. We lost 5-4 on aggregate. A tight scoreline, but we are out of the Champions League. We have an opportunity to make it to the Spanish Cup final, and we do. 2-2 is enough because we won the first leg 2-0. Peters and Rey with the goals. We go to the Spanish Cup final. Real Madrid have fought their way back up to second, but are still 11 points away from us in first. Barcelona all the way down in 8th on 44 points. Not a great season for them, already 8 losses. We had to play the final on the 27th of April against Real Madrid. A big city clash. Wonderful play and an even better finish by Peters gave us the lead in the cup final against our hated city rivals. The Atletico faithful are out of their seats as Peters has just buried one into the top right corner. At the end, in the 58th minute, Real Madrid got their equalizer through their number 9. I don't know who it really is, but Alvaro is the number 9, and he got a second shot, a rebound, saved by Pereira into the feet of Alvaro. Then somewhere, out of absolutely nothing, Hassan put a shot out of the absolute top draw into the top left corner. Look at this. Hassan going and somehow falling or trembling down. He hit that shot with such conviction that it landed into the corner. Peters would end the game in the 79th minute, once again catching Real Madrid cold, catching them on yet another counter-attack, and yet again it is our talisman Peters, who is much faster than anyone around him, putting it in. Upamecano is in defense for Madrid. And that is that, our first trophy with Atletico Madrid in the books. The fans are ecstatic, the players are as well, and so am I. What an important way to carve open the way to more trophies at Atleti. The title is mathematically over as we are 10 points clear of Real Madrid in second, with only 3 games remaining, as I said, 9 points to be made up. We would go on to beat Real Madrid on the final match day even, to round out this perfect season, at least domestically, double won in our second season at Atletico Madrid. What an achievement, as at the end of the season we've won the league by a big margin of 15 points out of second place Villarreal and third place Real Madrid, who have fallen because of that result against us. Only 2 losses we had all season long. And an incredible Kylian Peters was our top scorer. 50 goals for the 21-year-old, 32 and 14 for Zawa, and even 21 goals and 22 assists for Conor Gallagher. The question now is, will we stay put at Atletico for another season to try and win the Champions League, which of course we didn't succeed in this season, or will we switch alliances to our 4th club of this mini-series? We will find that out in the next one. Please remember to like and subscribe the video to the channel, and I will see you again in a couple of days. Our challenge to become the best manager in the world has started in Ireland at Galway United. We then, of course, after success at the Irish club, moved to Vitória in Portugal, where we took them to 3 trophies in total, 2 Portuguese cups as well as the league title, even played Champions League football over there. Then we now decided to go and embark on a journey at Atletico Madrid. We are in our 8th season as a manager, of course with this stacked Atletico Madrid side, where last season we won the double, both the league as well as the cup, but still the Champions League evading us here, and that is the only trophy we need to win to complete the challenge. We needed a bit of squad depth, that's why I signed a new centre midfielder. We didn't have anyone on the bench for that position. It is a 23-year-old Lorenzo Rey joining us. He's 82 rated for 30 million from the Saudi Arabian League. We have then gone on and made maybe a bit of a controversial move, bringing out our left winger for a new left winger, 24 years of age. Already about an 88 overall, Desiree Doué joining us for 18 million, plus Leo Zawa, who goes the other way to Milan. The squad now, even the bench, looking much more balanced with Ray on there, 23-82, but of course our big signing is Desiree Doué, 26 years old. I think I said 24, that was wrong. 26, 88 rated in his prime. Our league phase in the Champions League consists of Dortmund as our first encounter in September, then PSV in October. What else do we have? AEK from Greece in October, as well as SCR, which is Rapid Vienna, I do believe, in November. PSG in December is going to be really tough. I think I forgot one in November actually. Yes, the one against Dinamo Zagreb. Chelsea also in January, and to round off the league phase, Juventus. So our finish is going to be much harder than the start. Apart from, of course, facing BVB in our very first game, Dortmund, the German Giants. We did take an early lead against Dortmund. A wonderfully played counter-attack, which found its way to Peters, only having to tap it in the end here. It was Hassan going all the way from defense on a counter from Dortmund, and that's how it ended. Another mind-bogglingly fast counter-attack, yet again ended in the back of the net, of Dortmund's net, shall I say, as we ran rampant over them. Within 20 minutes, look at this, a pass by Bergvall into the path of Peters, who put it into the back of the net yet again. Copy-paste of the second goal. Once again, Peters at the end of it, already on a hat-trick here. What a performance by our Belgian superstar. The consistency of this Peters guy is unbelievable. Yet again, this time with his left foot past Kobel, who will have nightmares of this guy. And another one in the 57th minute. Dortmund absolutely torn to shreds. Gallagher wins the ball back very high up the pitch and then passes it cleverly to Peters, who makes his 5th goal of the night. Dortmund did get back a consolation in the 72nd minute through Silva, their number 10, after we had substituted a whole host of players. Even the replacement of Peters would get a goal. Brahimi, 19 years old, coming from the bench, and he had scored his goal, getting played in nicely by Ray, and then ending this. Even our second game we would comfortably win with 3 goals in the second half, Hong, Ray and Bergvall against PSV. Yet another victory against AEK Athens. Something has happened here. Someone of Atletico Madrid has won the Ballon d'Or. It is Kylian Peters. He absolutely deserves that. Our very first Ballon d'Or winner as a manager. Will we see ourselves as well? Cantona with Shevchenko and Kylian Peters. There are the teammates, of course, of Kylian. Bukayo Saka sitting there, if I'm not mistaken. Not too bad. In an encounter between second and first, Real Madrid did take the lead. Peltier, the striker, in the 42nd minute. A wonderfully played piece of football ends again here in the back of the net, even at Real Madrid Stadium. We play scintillating football. A big mistake in Real Madrid's defense saw us take the lead in the 85th minute, just a few minutes before the end of the game. Given we hadn't lost a single game, a single point even this season, that was yet another goal in direction of keeping the record. That would mean yet another victory, yet another pathway to getting yet another title, and Ancelotti still in charge of Real Madrid. In a clutch match against PSG, Peters gave us yet another lead after Doué magically prepared, assisted the goal, going past everyone, and Peters just had to tap it home. Doué, after provoking a sending off from a PSG player, his former club, he also netted one in, running the length of the pitch, going inside. Look at this goal, past everyone, and again, easy finish. After a mistake by our keeper, PSG still got a goal back. Look at this, a pass out the back, not really well done. He saved it first, but we couldn't get a man to defend the second ball, and so it went in. It, however, only took us a few seconds to make it 3-1 off the kickoff. Hassan played in by Peters, in behind, wonderfully done, 3-1 to Atletico. Conor Gallagher even scored a fourth goal, a complete demolition job of PSG. Saying thank you to the fans. Again, it was going off Doué, who is absolutely the man of the match. Into Peters, into Gallagher, 4-1. Amazingly, at the halfway stage of the season, we were yet to drop a single point. 18 games played, 18 games won, 17 clear of Real Madrid, who were yet to play their 18th game, but oh well, what a record. And even in the Champions League phase, we were yet to drop a single point, as we were clear 3 points of second place Chelsea. Only wins in the first part of the season. That is just crazy. Our first trophy of this season against Real Madrid in the Supercopa, and it is a 3-0 penalty win, 1-1 after 90 minutes. Camara Doué, 120 minutes, no goals anymore. We scored 3 penalties, Real missed all of them. And what is this, guys? We are going to win something as by the looks of it. Shevchenko is holding up a paper, and Sombrero is elevating himself from his seat as he's just won Manager of the Year for the very first time. That is a crazy achievement. He gets the award by given to him by Shevchenko. Peters is smiling, the players are smiling, and Sombrero is proud. We even secured a big win away to Chelsea in our very next Champions League phase game. At this point, absolutely everything went our way, and every opponent was outplayed. Even Juventus conceded a free kick to Desiré Doué, a wonderful strike. We would seal that same game with a goal by Peters, of course, who else but Peters, on the counter, a game where Juve stepped up, but in the end we scored the goal. Meaning that at the end of the league phase we were the record holders here, 24 points, 6 ahead of Chelsea, Leipzig, and even Barcelona and PSG. What a crazy run. Of all teams against Sede Tenerife in the Copa de España, we would concede our very first loss in the season. It is in the semi-final first leg of the Copa, so we could still turn things around. Shortly after our very first point dropped in the league, we are looking at 24 games won, 1 drawn and 0 lost. We would get the win at Club Brugge in our round of 16 matchup. Going in front through Doué. 1 minute later, Cisse got the equalizer, but Peters with the winner. In the home leg, we would go on and beat them yet again. Bergvall with the 88th minute winner. We go through to the quarter-finals. Even though we lost the first leg at home to Tenerife, shockingly, we went to City and got a 4-0 win. That is impressive. We are through to the final. We're up against RB Leipzig in the quarter-finals of the Champions League. However, things didn't start off well, as just 4 minutes in, Leipzig took the lead. No one could stop Ilenikena going into the box, and a finish that where Pereira could have done better as well. Our marksman Peters, though, got an equalizer in the 57th minute to get our unbeaten streak further going, played in by Gallagher, ending this move. Or so we thought, as RB Leipzig retook the lead through their superstar Xavi Simons in the 66th minute. Left-footed strike into the top corner. Just 2 minutes later, though, a wonderful move again, ended by Peters, by our superstar. Great play, look at this, tack, tack, and then the shot. We would even go and score a third goal. Once again, Peters with the Heung-min Son celebration. But a lot of space for Hassan, who lays it to Peters. Can easily bag his hat-trick. In the second leg, it would be a draw, which is more than good enough to go to the semi-finals. Just 6 games before the end of the season, we were already crowned champions, as we have a 23-point advantage over Real Madrid, who we also beat in the league. We're in the Copa de España final, of course, as well, after beating Tenerife, so yes, that is going to be a matchup with Sevilla. In the Champions League, we were paired up with Inter Milan on our pathway to a possible treble. We were off to a good start, as in the 12th minute, Desiré Doué gave us the lead in the Spanish Cup final against Sevilla, played in by Peters. Yet another big play in 2 or 3 touches in front of the goalkeeper, and Peters got his goal, of course, as well. In added on time in the first half, Sevilla would get a goal back, out of nothing really. Another beautiful piece of football would take us back to our 2-goal cushion. Hassan has been an incredible player throughout this journey, and here he's played in by Gallagher and ends it on the penalty spot. That was going to do it, our first trophy of the season. No, our second one if you include the Supercopa. But we have added a big trophy, back-to-back Copa del Rey's for Atletico Madrid, and that was only going to be the start. As just 3 days later we would face Inter Milan in the semi-finals, first leg of the Champions League. We were very sharp in front of goal and took the lead in the 14th minute in Milan through a Conor Gallagher strike. A sharp counter-attack at the start of the second half would mean Peters was to double our lead. Who else but Peters, 94 rated right now, played in by Bergvall majestically, and even same majestical finish by the Belgian. Nothing else would happen anymore. We get a 2-0 away win at Inter, very important first leg win. We get the job done in the second leg, a draw at home at the Metropolitano, more than good enough. As fate would have it, we would face Real Madrid in the Champions League final to complete our treble quest. Even in Barcelona, 2 games before the end of the season, Peter still delivers, as he gives us the lead in the 55th minute through that through ball going past and scoring the goal. Copy-paste of the first goal just 5 minutes later, as our Belgian superstar striker gets played in by Bergvall and makes it 2-0 at the Camp Nou. Even though we would go on to concede a goal, we'd even come away from Camp Nou with a 2-1 victory still. At the end of La Liga season, we would not only go unbeaten, but also yet again have the player of the season, and who else but Kylian Peters to get the award by David Beckham, another legend, of the football scenery. We are indeed one game away from an invincible treble. I think that's never been done before. We haven't won a single game, 110 points in La Liga, which is absolutely mind-boggling. 32 points ahead of Real Madrid in second. We haven't lost a single game in the Champions League either so far this season, as we are looking to go into, of course, the league phase. We finished with 8 wins out of 8. Round of 16, we won twice. In the quarterfinals, we drew 1 game but won the other, same as in the semis. And now we are up against Real Madrid, the kings of Europe. There are though new kings in town in Madrid, as rebuild Sombrero is looking to finish off the challenge today. That started off with Galway United, continued at Vitoria, now could be ended at the arena of Schalke with Atletico Madrid in the Madrid derby in the Champions League final. We would already take the lead just 7 minutes into the Champions League final. Peters fought his way through, gave a ball into Hassan, who fulfilled the dream of every Atletico fan, going ahead in the Champions League final. Another goal came in the 37th minute as Conor Gallagher, with the Jude Bellingham celebration in front of him, makes it 2-0. 2-0 to Atletico Madrid. A quite great first 37 minutes until this moment. Preparation and assist for Peters again. A mistake in our back line would offer Real Madrid the lifeline, as yes, we had lost it through Bergvall, if I'm not mistaken. No chance for Pereira in net. A big mistake by our keeper then gave Real Madrid the lead, the equalizer. Just look at this. Pereira, without any pressure, passes it to Peltier, who just has to pelt it into the goal. In the first minute of extra time, already, we're already in extra time, and Desiree Doué has scored yet another goal. Maybe the decider. Fast build-up play by Atletico Madrid, as they usually do. And then finishing it off, Doué by himself, a solo run. And that's what he does best. 3-2, 105th minute. A roller coaster of emotions that would fast, very, very soon be over, as one final chance for Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham trying to go through, passing it to Vinicius Junior, going back, but that was it. We intercepted the ball, we throw it away, and finally we have beaten Real Madrid in a Champions League final. Atletico Madrid, treble winners. That is an achievement in itself, an absolute roller coaster, as I said. 2-0 up, 2-all, and 3-2, winner by Desiree Doué in the end. But lads, if you enjoyed this series, this journey to become the best manager in the world, if you want to see more content like this, then please, by all means, consider dropping a like on the video, subscribing to the channel, and also tell me in the comments what other challenges you'd like to see next, as Rebuild Sombrero is on top of the world, winning with Galway United in Ireland, winning with Vitoria, 3 trophies effectively in Portugal, and then going to Spain, winning a double in the second season, and now the treble, actually the quadruple if you want to include the Supercopa. 6 trophies won, and the most important one, lifted by Conor Gallagher, the Champions League. Rebuild Sombrero is the best manager in the world. I'm going to say, have a wonderful rest of your day. It's been Sombrero. Until next time, I'm out.